Hello and welcome to another Purveyor of Light Photoshop quick tip. Today we're going to have a little bit of fun here. You could make this one just casual fun, or you could actually make it to help your business or your promotional issues and stuff. We're going to show you how to take any image and place it on another image inside of Photoshop and make it look realistic. Okay, so for example here, if I wanted to do a product mock-up or that, and I wanted to place my image inside this iPad, how would I do this? And that's what we're going to cover today. So we're going to I'm going to place my image right into the iPad and make it look believable that it's there. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and take all that off, and we're going to start with the basic image. You need to have your image that you want to have placed on the screen. So select your image, and I'll just use one of my images here. Now, one of the first things you need to do is make sure that this screen resolution is the ratio of the iPad. Okay? Because you don't want your picture squished or crushed or squeezed, right? So what's the ratio of an iPad? The ratio of an iPad is 4:3. Okay? That's all you got to remember. You don't have to worry about pixels. Don't have to worry about dimensions. Just remember 4:3 ratio. Okay? So we go back into our image and we go to the crop tool. And then in the ratio section, okay, if it's not saying it's a ratio, make sure it is. Select it from the drop down. And I'm going to say 4:3. And that will restrict my crop, okay, right to that size. And so then I crop the image to this, and it will be perfect dimensions. Okay? So that's step one. So once you've done that, okay, we then have our dimensions, we have our image ready, and we're going to do this one. Now we're going to do a little geometry, okay? But don't worry, no technical part of it. It's actually easy. We're going to draw out some guides. Now you notice I have my rulers showing on the left and the top here. If you don't have those showing, let's turn those on. Go up to view and then make sure view rulers. Okay? Turn your rulers on. That just helps you draw out guides and so forth and measurements to make you accurate. All right, so now I'm going to take you, click here, and I want you to drag out a guide. Now these are guides. These are not part of the image. Okay? You may want to zoom in, okay, to get the guides to be accurate. I want to be on the edge of the corners. Okay? And I'm going to draw out another one and pull from the ruler and drag it out on the bottom. Okay? Then I'm going to drag from the left side, and that's going to give me my vertical lines. Now you notice I'm covering the corners of the iPad screen. And this is because we're going to use geometry. Okay? I bet you never thought you'd use geometry after leaving high school, right? But this is going to help us guide layout for us to put an image in. All right? Make it nice and easy. All right, so now we've got our guides on pointing to each corner. And so now we're ready to go ahead and plan a plot for our image to go into. So I need you to come down over here to your toolbox, and I need you to select the rectangle tool. If you don't see it, make sure you push down on it and select. If you may be on another tool, ellipse or that, but you're going to select the rectangle tool. Okay? Now all I want you to do is draw a rectangle by clicking out on one of your guides and dragging it out just like that, so you have a rectangle that we made those guides to. Okay? Pretty easy so far, right? We're using geometry, but we just don't know that we're using geometry. By using these guides and that, this is going to make our image perfect. Okay? For that iPad. Okay, so now that we have that done, I need to take this particular shape and I need to make it a smart object. So we're going to need to go up, and I'm going to select Convert to Smart Object. That's important so that we can place our image that we want in it. And it says here, edit contents. Okay. So we are going to edit content, and it opens up here. And now we're just going to place our image that we want in there. Okay. So I could just take this one here and drag it and drop it in. I can come in and Command and Control T to size it up here. And we're trying to make it fit within our rectangle. Okay, so that looks pretty good. When I'm ready to commit, hit Command or Enter. And now that is done. And so now we're going to save this container. Go back to the original image, and you can see our image is now placed over the iPad. Okay, so last step here. We're going to then take and Command and Control T, okay? And that's going to give us our transform handles. But what I want you to do is go to a corner, and I want you to right click, okay? And I want you to hit Distort, okay? So now grab a corner. This is the upper right corner, and I want you to drag it and drop it to the corner there. I want you to take the lower right corner, and I want you to drag it there. Now, zoom in, make sure you're precise, okay? And we're going to take lower left. Again, make sure you're precise. Come in and take the upper left. And you see I wasn't exact there, so I need to make sure that that's good. And I think I'm off on the upper left. Yeah, a little bit. Make sure that each one is exactly where it needs to be. Okay. When I'm happy, I hit Enter. And there we go. Now we've got our image perfectly placed in the object. Perfect ratio, and the picture is not distorted, it's not squished, it's not out of proportion. Why? Because we cropped the image ahead of time to the correct ratio. Okay, now I'm a little figgy for details, okay? I try to make things, notice the little things that most people don't notice. Now this looks fine, and you could stop here and go ahead and save it and, do whatever you're going to do with the photo. But I notice little things, and they bother me, and I go, I want to recreate that full detail. So I'm going to just show you, I'm going to turn this off for a second. And look, you can see this, a glare or a reflection, as you say, on the glass that is there. And when we place our image, that's gone. It just looks flat. And I go, I'd like to really recreate that effect, to have that glare. Like I said, it's an optional thing, but I like to recreate as much as I can. So I'm going to come in, and I'm going to select the background layer, and I'm just going to select the polygon tool, and I'm just going to select the area of that glare. Okay, so now that I have that area that is selected, okay, I can utilize this to actually copy it, all right? And I'm going to hit Command or Control J, and that's going to put a copy of that up on a layer above it. I'm just going to drag that right above what we're doing here. Okay, and now I'm going to turn back on our image. Now, it doesn't look very believable here because we got to change the blend mode. Okay. and find out which blend mode works best for you. And I'm thinking lighten works best for me. So now I have this. I'm going to change the opacity until it comes down to what I like is a believable. And then I'm going to put a layer mask on this layer, and I'm just going to do some softening up so I don't have this hard edge, okay, so obvious. And check my brush, and painting in black, I'll be very soft. Let me change my veil back to a normal brush, and very soft brush. Decent size, and then I just want to change my flow very low, maybe 11, and just kiss it just a little bit so that it's not so hard on the edge. Okay? And now we have a believable light thing, and you can change the opacity to your liking. Okay, how much believable you want. You want the full reflection, then you can have that there. But anyhow, if we turn that on and off, you can see there's the flat image, there's the image, and I think it makes a big difference when you turn around and you're looking at, there's the original reflection on the glass, okay? And now we have the reflection in the glass too. So there you go. I'm happy with it now. It's more believable to my eyes. And now I'm ready. So again, repeat the steps. First thing is, if you're going into an iPad, make sure you take the iPad ratio 4:3. Go into your original image that you want to put in and make sure you crop your image to 4:3. Okay? And you can do that by just selecting the crop tool and then selecting 4:3. Okay? Then you're going to come in and you're going to draw some guides out to help you out with the geometry. That's going to help you size the image. Then you're going to turn around and draw a rectangle. And you're going to then fill the rectangle and place your image in that rectangle. And once you save that, everything will be updated and your image will be placed. And then the added touch I did was I actually copied the reflection so that we could have a more realistic looking image. So there you go. It's a fun one. It's actually a lot of combinations of good techniques that you can use on multiple issues and projects. So hopefully you found it useful. And until next week, you guys take care.